I'm Haley Taylor, and you're listening to the Rough Draft Diaries. On our last episode of the Rough Draft Diaries, we talked to Christine Deemer, an artist and curator for the Sisters of St. Francis of Sylvania, Ohio. So it's not super surprising that her next nomination included a nun from the Sisters of St. Francis.
This is Sister Jane Mary Sorosiak. My chief work now is doing ceramic murals, and I do the work at El Verno Studio. It's on the campus of the Sisters of St. Francis. That's right close to Lourdes University.
Sister Jane Mary has been working on ceramic murals for about 30 years. She was also an art teacher for that same amount of time, but she joined the Franciscan sister community over 60 years ago, which puts Sister Jane at just over 90. Her introduction into art, and again the Franciscan sister community, began in school.
In grade school, I had the Franciscan sisters there, and they were the first ones that really encouraged my artistic talents. I remember I was in the second grade when I did a mural, and the mural was on the back of wallpaper. It was just stretched across the cloakroom, the old-fashioned kind of cloakroom that they had in the classrooms. And I did all the drawing there, and then the rest of the students would fill in with the colors. And all through grade school, too, they encouraged me that way, and they kept track of me. And when I was in high school, I finished high school, and I went to Marymans College. I graduated from Marymans. Then I finally decided it was time to enter the Sisters of St. Francis. And all that time, it was at the back of my mind, and I was sort of putting it off until finally I thought, well, it's about time that I decide one way or the other.
Sister Jane Mary was 25 when she entered into the community, which may seem young, especially if stereotypical images of life in a convent appear in your mind when thinking of nuns. Maybe it looks like a life limited from the opportunities that a secular lifestyle would offer. But Sister Jane Mary doesn't feel like her decision to join the community hindered her life in any way.
Not at all, because actually, it's because that I am a Franciscan sister. We were always encouraged here. Our community always encouraged art, and they felt that the sisters needed that kind of training to make them very sensitive to the beauty of nature and everything that was Franciscan. And so, actually, it's because I am here in the Franciscan community that I've been able to do all the artwork that I have done. It was they who encouraged me all the way through, and I could decide myself what I wanted to do or not to do. Well, I think we live pretty normal lives, As far as any kind of rigidity of any kind, there's nothing like that. And it's really a very safe kind of life, and it's very beautiful, actually. I wouldn't change it for anything. I think it's what God wants you to do. If it's your vocation, no matter what it is, it's what God wants you to do, and you kind of comply with that then, and it always works out that way, no matter what your problems are, and everybody has problems, one way or the other, but you know that you're somehow you fit. It's what you need to do, and it's a happy life. I think you'll find most sisters, especially our Franciscan sisters, are known for their humor and their joy in life, and we like to live our life joyfully.
Living life joyfully is a part of the mission statement of the Sisters of St. Francis, basing their life of St. Francis of Assisi, committing themselves to works that reverence human dignity, embrace the poor and the marginalized, and respect the gift of all creation. They do this by sponsoring various ministries, one being the Bethany House, providing safe, long-term transitional shelter for victims of domestic violence, or the Rosary Care Center, a licensed nursing home facility. They have peacemaking initiatives, or where Sister Jane Mary is employed, supporting the nature, culture, and goodness of our area through art.
Being a member of this community has developed that Franciscan idea. The things that our sisters teach, I think, wherever they are, whatever ministry they're in, they try and influence for the good. They try and show the beauty of nature. They try and show that if you really are determined to, and you have the talent, and you're willing to use that talent and really to develop it, I think you can find a way to do that.
Sister Jane Mary is talking about artists, a topic that she returned to often. maybe trying to find a way to support other young artists in the same way that she was supported in her ambitions growing up. Especially coming out of a difficult year, Sister Jane Mary wanted to end our conversation with, again, that same sense of encouragement to other young artists making their way in the world.
All things change, If you just wait long enough, all things change, and everything works for the good. If they have faith in what they're doing, and they feel they really are accomplishing God's will for them, I think there's always a way. There's always something that nothing can stand in the way then, And if they really, really try and do the right things, try and accomplish what their talents are, and develop them and really work hard at it, I think all things change. All things are for the good.
I'm Haley Taylor, and thanks for listening to this episode of the Rough Draft Diaries.